The Lakers, in fact, do have a path to victory in the second round of the NBA playoffs. The Chargers' offensive coordinator is like, wait, I can still make it work without a tight end. And the Sparks remember that even the WNBA is a professional sport, which we all need to be reminded of every so often. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. Can't play around today, gotta get straight to it. It is May 2nd, 2023. So if you like being in the know about LA sports, and we've got a lot to talk about, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell, hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring, let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Because again, try to get to all the comments. Do my best anyway. Before we go through the news and notes, look at the scoreboard. Your LA Dodgers are in first place in the NL West. They've won their fourth consecutive game with a 13-4 drubbing of the Philadelphia Phillies. Mookie Betts just went nuts. He was 3 for 5, scores twice, he drives in 3, and he hit a home run off of former Dodger closer Craig Kimbrell, which is delicious. Meanwhile today, pretty good schedule. The Lakers have game 1 up in Golden State at 7 o'clock, and we're going to talk about that matchup a lot more in just a moment. Philadelphia is at the Dodgers at 7 o'clock. Julio Urias is 3-3 with a 4.41 ERA. Matt Strom will take the bump for Philly. He's 2-2 with a 2.31 ERA. And Philadelphia will play LAFC in the CONCACAF Champions League semifinals. It's a rematch of MLS Cup. It is the second leg. The series is currently tied at 1 goal apiece. Now, with regard to the Lakers, there have been 2 primary things that have been coming out in advance of the series. The first is how almost all of the pundits are taking the Warriors, right? We'll talk about that in a half second. And the second thing is all these puff pieces, where all the scribes, they get so giddy about puff pieces. It's like they're playing with a hamster playing with a flower petal, right? Oh, it's so cute to talk about Klay Thompson and his father. No, it's not. I don't care. I don't care at all that Klay Thompson, a Warrior, is pissed because his father, Michael Thompson, a former Laker, is rooting for LA. I don't care. I don't care about rehashing LeBron James's Cavaliers versus Steph Curry and the Warriors. LeBron James does not play for the Cavaliers anymore. I don't give a damn. And I don't know anybody who does, by the way. Now, regarding all the pundits, ESPN overwhelmingly took Golden State, but look, ESPN is no longer a respected sports news outfit. They are all about hype. If you watch it on a regular basis, you're sitting there going, where are any actual facts? It's just one group of sports writers screaming at each other for half-hour blocks all day long. It's trash. Give you the best example in the current NBA playoffs as to how poor ESPN's alleged journalism is. If you recall in game 1 of the series against Memphis, Anthony Davis pulled up lame before the first half was over. He limps off into halftime. The entire halftime show was spent where all 4 hosts trashed Anthony Davis, trashed the Lakers for trading for Anthony Davis, trashed Anthony Davis from the time he was an embryo up until that afternoon. Not one of them thought to call the Lakers and say, hey, is he coming back or not? No, they just assumed he was going to be out. Davis comes back the second half, Lakers win. Now, that's why one of the many reasons why you shouldn't trust ESPN. Now, inside the NBA also took the Warriors. However, one of their hosts, Kenny Smith, paused and said he would take Golden State, but he believes the Lakers are the better team. And that's where we're going to start to build our case. The pundits are forgetting that the Lakers won the season series 3-1. The pundits are forgetting that just like the Warriors have future Hall of Famers, the Lakers have 2 future Hall of Famers on their roster as well. They forget about the Lakers defense. They really do. They forget that the Lakers have not lost a playoff series when both Anthony Davis and LeBron James play together for the entire series. In other words, are they healthy enough? There's only one thing that the pundits and I agree on, and that's that this series is going to be high scoring because both teams play up-tempo. Now, Golden State does it more often than anybody else. They lead some analytics stat called pace percentage. But the Lakers, again, play better defense, and that includes transition D. So the question then becomes not whether or not the Lakers can stop Golden State or contain Golden State. No. The question is, can the Lakers do just enough? For example, Steph Curry scored 50 points in Sacramento in Game 7. There's no way the Lakers can allow that and win a game. We know this. He averaged, however, 33 points a game in that series. So can the Lakers do just enough? Can they hold him to an average of under 30, for example? Is that reasonable? I think it is. Now, having said that, Golden State forces you to do things that other teams do not. We'll break that down in a moment. We'll start by talking about, though, the process of trying to limit what Steph Curry accomplishes. According to The Athletic, the Lakers are going to line up 3 players to match up with Curry at different points during the game. Maybe Jared Vanderbilt gets the start because he's long, he's athletic, maybe get his hand into Steph Curry's face a little quicker. Dennis Schroeder will get a shot too because he's just a pest, a veteran pest, and that matters in the playoffs. Finally, you have Austin Reeves, who's quick, and you follow Curry around and again try to get a hand in the guy's face. So again, do they have just enough to limit Steph Curry by just a few points a game? Because if that's the case, then the Lakers are off and running. I think at some point the defense has to matter. Not that the Lakers lock them down again, but just shaving a few points. The idea of making Steph Curry work for his points. I also think free throws matter, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James get more calls than anybody on the Warriors ever do. They get more calls than the Kings did. The Lakers went to the free throw line more than any other team in the NBA. Those free points add up. And for that matter, I also believe that this is where D'Angelo Russell has to play with a chip on his shoulder. Remember, he's a former Warrior. If he wants that fat bag of money when he's a free agent in the offseason, he has to show it now. You add all that together, I think not just on defense, I think the Lakers are more versatile. They are very comfortable playing big. They are very comfortable playing small. Golden State only has one way to play. They have to play small. They have nobody who can match the height of Anthony Davis. They can try to rough him up. If he gets hurt, then yeah, Golden State's going to win, but you can't bank on injuries. See, Golden State does what they do very well because nobody else can do what they do because they're the ones that have Steph Curry. The Lakers would lose if they try to go and play positionless basketball. They're not even going to try. They're going to try to pound them. They're also going to try to do whatever it takes to limit Steph Curry. If Anthony Davis breaks loose and plays consistently strong, the Lakers win in a landslide. Period. I think that I am looking at this series through purple and gold colored glasses, but I do like them. The Curry 50-point game was legendary. But for Golden State to win, Curry is going to have to do not 50 points a night, but upper 30s, night after night after night after night. He's going to have to do that multiple times in order to beat LA. Even LeBron James doesn't have to go nuts night after night after night. The Lakers, again, are the better team. The Lakers play better defense than the Sacramento Kings. And Golden State, again, has trouble playing on the road. That's why I like the Lakers. Also with the Lakers, Kyrie Irving showed up at a Lakers game during the playoffs last week, and the bloggers, they got so excited. They grabbed all their old posts about how the Lakers were going to trade Steph Curry. They erased the part about trade, and then they wrote sign as a free agent and tried to make that news. Here's the problem. Shams Charania, an actual reporter from The Athletic, said the Lakers aren't interested. They're not interested in Kyrie. Here's why. Kyrie Irving is an injury-prone, unpredictable player, and in order to get him, you'd have to blow up the entire roster just to have a shot. Just to have a shot. Remember how LA lost Alex Caruso? You remember how LA lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a bunch of other players, just so they could try to get Russell Westbrook? How'd that turn out? Do you really think the Lakers are all that hype to get rid of Austin Reeves, to get rid of D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, to blow up their entire roster to get Kyrie Irving? Because by the way, even if they did blow up their entire roster, the Lakers would only have about $30 million in cap space, whereas Irving is eligible for a $47 million deal. Do you really think Kyrie Irving is going to give the Lakers a $17 million a year discount? Absolutely not. You're fooling yourselves. Chargers offensive coordinator Kellen Moore said he will adjust his system to fit the Chargers roster. Now, if you recall, he liked using double tight end formations out in Dallas. The Bolts tight end room is not particularly strong. Not at all. Even worse, LA did not draft a tight end. Now, Moore said that there were tight ends he liked in the draft, but he also told the LA Times, quote, "The cool thing about football is you can play it in a lot of different ways. We find what these guys do really, really well and try to enhance those things," unquote. By the way, the free agent market for tight ends is super soft this year. An undrafted free agent from UCLA, the guy they signed, Michael Ezike, he's a converted wide receiver, so that really doesn't look like a solution either. Nanika Ogumike said the Sparks, and she's played for the Sparks since 2012, she said, quote, "This is the first time I've really experienced what I believe to be a professional organization," unquote. And that's a little disturbing because, again, she's been with them since 2012. The Sparks have 3 WNBA titles, by the way, including one in 2016, and even that apparently wasn't all that professional. But I will say, let's be fair and give the lady a little bit of space. Look, the Sparks dragged themselves through the mud for, the last 5 years? Their former GM, Penny Toller, got fired in 2019 for alleged racial slurs. Derek Fisher wasn't helpful either as a coach or a GM. Current coach Kurt Miller said a big reason for this new outlook is the team, quote, "is not going to cut culture. We are excited about building a culture," unquote. He added that preparation is always our first pillar. Now, there was a ton of roster changing with the Sparks, and it is going to take time to see how these pieces fit, but I want to give you the straight truth about the LA Sparks. For the league, it is important for the Sparks to matter. For these smaller leagues out there to survive, the NFL's not going anywhere, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they're not going anywhere. But you take a look at MLS, which I love soccer. MLS thrives because the Galaxy and LAFC both thrive in a major market. Same for NYCFC and the New York Red Bulls. The WNBA, in order to grow and survive, the Sparks have to be relevant. Straight and simple. Teammates, to get you caught up on the Kings offseason, which is just beginning, teammates have been publicly stating that they want the team to do what it takes to keep defenseman Vladislav Gavrikov, who is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. They had traded for him from Columbus during the offseason. Drew Doughty went public about it. Also, with regards to defense, GM Rob Blake said he wasn't going to promise that Brant Clark has a spot on the roster next year. If you recall, Brant Clark, who was a teenager at the time, he had a solid 9-game tryout last season, but then they couldn't keep him. It was a contract issue. Also, goaltender Cal Peterson was demoted last year to the AHL. We all knew that, but he still struggled. Now, the Kings have only $2.5 million in cap space. Cal Peterson makes $5 million. The problem? Fat contract. Can't stop the puck from going into the net. The Kings can't trade him. He doesn't have any trade value. Alex Edler, 37, is a free agent. He says he has no idea if he will play next year, or for that matter, where. And Anze Kopitar said he wants to stay with the Kings for his entire career. His contract ends after next season. He said if that means staying on a lesser contract, that is no problem with him. The class of 2024, the recruiting class for USC, has added a wide receiver, Xavier Johnson. He's from Chatsworth. He's the 71st ranked national prospect, according to 24/7 Sports. He caught 83 passes for 1,626 yards last year with 20 touchdowns as a junior. Crazy good numbers. He is the third commit for the Trojans class of 2024. All of them, by the way, offensive skill positions. It's probably a good idea for him to choose USC, not just on reputation, not just on quarterbacks. He could get playing time as soon as next season when he's a freshman. 3 USC wide receivers are considered NFL draft prospects for next year. That would be Brandon Rice, Mario Williams, and Dorian Singer. You possibly could get playing time quickly. Tight end Josh Follow, a former Trojan, by the way, is signed with the Jets as an undrafted free agent. Paul George said Russell Westbrook is, quote, just so valuable, unquote, to the Clippers, and that he wants the free agent guard back. A lot of Clipper executives want him back too. Yeah, I'm glad he redeemed himself. I'm not a Russell Westbrook hater, but keeping him is going to be a female dog, if you will. Remember, there's a new collective bargaining agreement with very strong penalties for teams that are chronically over the cap. The Clippers are $40 million over the cap. You're going to have to do some work, or Ballmer's got to cut the fattest of checks. The Dodgers have activated shortstop Miguel Rojas from the injured list before Monday's game against Philly. He had a left hamstring strain. He hit just 125 before the injury, though. As a result, to make room on the roster, catcher Austin Wynns was put on assignment, and that's how basically the day winds up. You tell me what you think about the Lakers' chances against Golden State. Tell me what you think, for that matter, about the Sparks finally looking up the word professionalism. And if you enjoyed talking sports with me, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.